You're ready to go do something big and fear strikes, or you feel the doubt and you start doubting that really inspired idea that you had and you were gung-ho about it. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't think I can. You know, that's like when it's a time to dive into these practices that I'm going to share today. And I developed this, I mean, I've been using it for a while, but it was funny because a personal story of mine this month brought it back up, and it actually gave me this next level of compassion for my own clients. And I was like, you know what? This is so needed because not everyone has these tools. So I want to share them so that other people can use them. And it's similar to the things that I share in a lot of my programs, but it's going to be slightly different because it's focused just on fear and doubt today. So fear and doubt, right? Why did I have this? Because I work with a ton of women who are totally capable, so brilliant. They have the greatest ideas, and yet they're like, I don't have the money, or I can't do this, or I don't know how. And when I hear it, I feel it in my body. It feels heavy. It hurts to hear. But here's the thing. I know it because I was that. And because I know what that feels like, I want to come up with solutions like, how can we move us out of this as fast as we can? And this past month, I made a really big investment in myself that really was kind of scary. And then I had a whole transformation in my business and all these things came up. And what I was faced with was a lot of fear. A lot of fear came up for me. So when that came up, I had to dive into my practices. And as I was moving myself through these kind of steps, let's say, I was like, you know what? I should share a class on this. So here we are with it. Now, for how many of you are business owners? Only some of you are on here. Okay. That I can actually see your faces and stuff. But okay, so a lot of you are either business owners or would like to have a business, or you have a side hustle or something, right? And you don't even have to have a business. But I say that running with a business is like us going against the world, it feels like sometimes, because we've been trained to work hard for someone else, give them 40 hours of our week, and then we seem like nut jobs when we go off and say, I'm going to start my own business and I'm going to make money out of doing what I love, right? And that's kind of going against the grain. So not only are we dealing with our own, let's call them just demons for a moment, that voice that says you can't, or I don't know how, we're also dealing with what's happening in the world, the noise from family and friends, and even things from the past. So what fear really is, though, is a lack of feeling safe, right? So it's a lack of feeling safe. And I'm sure that most of you can relate to this. You feel it in your body, right? How many of you have gone to go do something really amazing, really incredible, and all of a sudden you feel depressed? You feel sick, right? You're like, I can feel it in my stomach as I'm talking to you guys, right? It's like you have these things and it's, it's a good idea. You've been 1 second, I'm gonna mute. So let me do a mute all participants. Maybe that will help me do it when everyone joins in. Mute all. There we go. Okay, so I know for me, it's so powerful to understand where fear shows up in your body, right? I know at first it strikes me right here. My neck gets tight. I feel like I can't breathe. I get like a panicky feeling. And then when I go to sit down and create like what I want to create and how to get out of the solution, I end up feeling it right in my stomach. So part of it is just being aware, because fear is still here. So when women come to me and they're like, yeah, but I don't know how to do this. I'm like, look, I still have fear and it doesn't make any sense to me, but the fear still comes. And I feel that fear will always come. It just evolves. It becomes more subtle and it evolves with your new goals and ideas and things like that. So let's just do a practice. And I want all of us just to tune in for a moment. We're going to close our eyes the way that I meditate, and just the way I tune in is I put my hands up like this, just in a receptive space, because we're opening up to all that's here for us. We're here, we tend to forget that we're more than our physical body. You look in the mirror, you see yourself, and you're like, oh yeah, there goes me. That's Nicole Sylvester. This is only a small bit of Nicole Sylvester, right? And just like whatever I see in you guys is just a small piece. There's so much more. So we want to get in the idea, or get into that space of grounding in, we're so much more than the physical body, right? So let's just close our eyes and tune in for a moment. We're just gonna tune into ourselves, tune into you, see where you're at today. We're not judging, we're just going to tune in and just take a look. Where are you living emotionally? Where are you living mentally? Those projections, those fantasies, what's there? And just take a look at what's happening in your body. So let's just take one deep breath together. Deep inhale. Let it out. And if you didn't have an audible exhale where you could hear yourself exhale, do another one, because you want to just let go of anything that you're harboring. So let's just do one more together. Letting go of anything before this moment. So first, just scan your physical body. Start from your toes and just do a scan, moving up your body, through your knees, through your hips, through your core, through your chest, through your arms, down into your hands, up through your neck, through your face, through your head. Just notice what's going on in your body. Any sensations, tension. And just breathe into your body for a moment, reconnecting to the fact that you have a physical body that you are moving through life with, but it is not you. It's only a part of you. So just breathe into that. Now I want you to consider the emotional state that you've been living in. Have you been optimistic, joyful, afraid, living in doubt, resistance? Perhaps there's something else there. Anger, resentment, jealousy, whatever it is for you. Just notice it. We're not judging at all. We're just becoming highly aware of everything that's happening within our world right now. You want to think of yourself as a snow globe. Whatever's happening in this globe that we're checking into right now, the emotions, the body, the mind, you're essentially looking out of that snow globe and out into the rest of what's happening. And you can only see through that water. You can only see through what's happening there. So you want to make sure that you're becoming very aware of what's there and what you're seeing life through. And that's all we're doing right now. So just sit. Now I want you to think of some of the mental projections and fantasies that have been running through your mind recently. And do not judge yourself on them, because our mind will show us some crazy stuff. It's really crazy. So just notice it. We're just taking note, taking inventory. Now I want you to think of something that you're afraid of right now. Think of something you're afraid of. Something you've been doubting yourself for, something that you're afraid to move forward with, something you're afraid that may happen. It hasn't even happened. There's no sign that it definitely is going to happen, but maybe you're just walking around with fear. I want you to feel it for a moment. Invite it in. Do not resist it. Feel it and notice your body's response to it. Say the worst case scenario happened. Just allow yourself to live it for a moment. Trust me, we're going to get out of it later. Feel it and notice where you carry that fear and anxiety in your body. Now I want you to breathe through it and let it go. And now I want you to think of something that is just so incredibly happy, joyful, loving, something that you've done recently. Maybe it's time that you spent with your family, someone you love, a vacation, you're holding little puppies, whatever it is for you. I want you just to imagine it and just feel all of that in your body right now. And now I want you to come out of it for a moment. So just take a breath, come back into this session, come back into this room. Okay, so was everyone able to connect with where they were holding fear in their body? Right? Okay, so actually there was a post, and I'm going to bring this up. You guys have to know that the internet is full of a lot of bullshit. I'm just going to use that language because that's what it's filled with, a lot of that. There's a lot of good stuff too. Now, a lot of the things on the internet, especially in the spiritual community, there's a lot of spiritual bypassing. There's a lot of the money is just energy. There's a lot of everything is love and there is no fear. True. Yes. On a beyond the mind kind of living, that is absolutely true. Here's the problem. We have minds. We have minds. We have to live with them. So we can't just ignore the fact that fear comes up, right? We can repeat all these mantras and do all these things, but we have to be willing to look at our fears, right? And there is nothing wrong with having them, but we have to let those voices that are reaching up for us and wanting to grab us and say, come back to where you're safe. We have to let them know we're safe where we're going, right? And that's a really powerful thing. And that's what we're going to do today, is just to recalibrate our vibration and move into safety. So I want each and every one of you, I know some of you have just jumped on. If you have pen and paper, what I would like you to do is to think of one thing. We're going to use one thing as kind of a test. One thing that you've been going after, or one thing that is bringing a lot of fear in your life. So if you're an entrepreneur and let's say you have a launch coming up, or let's say you haven't been making money and it is stressing you the hell out, right? Whatever that is for you, bring up that one thing, and I want you to bring it into your mind and write it down, if you will. This is going to be our project. You guys, we'll have a Q&A at the end too, so you guys can ask me any questions if you want to. So you shouldn't have to think of it for too long. Your intuition has guided you here today. You saw that there was something about releasing fear and doubt, and you were like, okay, this sounds good to me. So the cool thing is that we're always guided. We're always guided. One of my favorite books about this is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. I referred it to some of my clients. But the cool thing is that life is guiding us, and we think in our small selves that we have to figure it all out. If we don't make decisions, if we don't take action every single moment, we are going to be like stuck and destitute and die, right? Like these are the kind of things the mind tells us. However, our deepest desire, not a desire to go get high and have a lot of sex with strangers, not those kind of desires. Deep desires such as changing the world, as showing up and sharing a creative expression. These are desires from source. You're guided in these desires. Your job is to let go and to trust though. So this is where it gets tricky, because you have to let go of everything you've been taught in your life, and you have to be willing to just open your heart, let go of your mind, and allow what's beyond your mind to come through for you. And when you do that, magic really happens. Like literally, it feels like magic, because you may not know how the hell did that just happen, and that's miracles, but we are miracles, right? So we want to get into this place of we're incredibly safe because we're always guided. No matter what's ever happened to you in life, there's a part of you that's never been hurt. And just that belief alone has changed my life, because I always deemed myself as bad because I was committing crimes. I deemed myself as broken because of all the things that happened to me. And I just felt like I was broken baggage. Who would ever want to learn from me? Who would ever want to be with me? Who would want to be even friends with me if they knew all the things that I really was? But that was not true, you see? So because that was not true, I went back into this place that beneath everything I've developed as a personality, there's a part of me that's never been touched, can never be broken, can never be hurt. And that part of me is where my light is. That's where your light is, right? So we want to reconnect with that part of us as often as possible. What if as often as you checked your Facebook, you checked in with your light? Can you imagine what your freaking life would be like? Like, it would be like, we wouldn't be on this call. That's what I would say. Who knows what you'd be creating? We'd be all over the place doing amazing stuff. Not that you're not doing amazing stuff now, but can you imagine, right? So we want to take that one thing that you're afraid of, and I want you to write down any beliefs that you have about it right now that have been making you afraid. Write down as many as you can, but at least get 3. Because you're walking around with these ideas about why this is not going to work or why this is impossible, and that's keeping you stuck. So let's just get that out and purge it. So we're just purging the ideas. Any of the voices, if you can identify the voices, you can transcend them, but not until you identify them. So this is literally what I do when I'm feeling fear, when I feel doubt on a new project or something I'm working through. I literally, if I feel any hesitancy and I realize it's something I was really inspired with and I know it's going to change someone's life and I know it's going to benefit me and others, then I know that I need to sit with this. Because I'm blocking my blessings, I'm blocking other people's blessings, and that's just not fair to anyone. Right? So we can't do that. And I would say that's the difference between me and most spiritual teachers that really teach deeper spiritual stuff, is that I'm very highly action oriented because I believe in impact, right? So we can make impact in other ways, but I will always test you to dig in a little bit and see how soon you can get past all of that stuff and take action. It doesn't always have to be the same action. Maybe you realize that I wasn't supposed to go this route, but I'm going to readjust. But there's always some potential. There's always something there. So when we live in that space, we're in a forever, like, just inexhaustible space of making impact and sharing good, right? So you have your fears, you purge their voices, you understand what they're saying to you. And now I want you to close your eyes again. And I want you to reconnect with that, with those beliefs. How does it feel when you tell them, this is not true? This is a lie. Do you feel it in your body? Does it feel easy to do, or are you still feeling some resistance? Most likely, you still feel resistance because these are beliefs, right? They're deep. So now we have to move into safety. The truth is that you're safe. These things, if you stand in your power and stand up to these voices and stand up to these false ideas, the truth is that you'll see who you really are. You'll see who you really are. And as one of my teachers who teaches the Course in Miracles class that I go to, he said, when you feel fear, it's a sign that you've forgotten your truth. So it's you've forgotten who you really are. And who we are is someone who is so creative. We can create money when we need it. We're so creative. We can create ideas for new businesses, for new offerings. We can create solutions. That's why when we're at very rock bottom, solutions come through, because we're done with these voices. We give up. We're tired of listening to the lies we've told ourselves. And only at rock bottom sometimes is where we were like, forget this, I'm going, right? So it's reconnecting before you ever have to go to rock bottom. Can you take yourself into that warrior mode, feel so safe, and take action on whatever it is that you're holding back from? That's where we want to live. That's where we want to show up from. So let's open our eyes back up again. And this is we're just moving in and out. If our eyes are always open and we're always talking and we're always processing, we get stuck in our head. So we want to come back down and just listen to those feelings. Listen to what we're feeling, because we can talk to someone all day about this stuff and we can intellectually understand that there's nothing to be afraid of, or yes, I can do this, I can create this. But why do we still stop? It's because deep down we should have that heaviness, right? That feeling. And I know it because I was feeling it in the past week. Like the week before last, I was just like in it, right? So I know it. It's fresh to me. That's how I created this. So what I want you to do before we move into the meditation that goes along with this, I want you to write down your strengths, the things that would carry you through, why you're capable of this thing. And, you know, it could be other stuff. Some people are dealing with deeper stuff. You know, there's times where you feel incredibly lonely. You feel like a loss of love. There's times that happen like that. And times like that, you have to remind yourself of the times where you've gotten over this and that everything is temporary. right? We're all dealing with the other stuff. Some people, it's money. Some people have millions of dollars and they're on the verge of committing suicide because they feel like they're not loved, right? We're all dealing with different things. So right now you're just getting out all of your strengths. You know, what would it be like if you lived your life in a way that you never doubted the inspiration that came through because you knew it was directly for you? You knew that it was something that you were designed to create or to be a part of in some way. What if you just trusted that? That's just a beautiful shift that we can all live with. Another thing is, I have a Post-it, and I tell my clients this all the time, so you guys already know, but I have a Post-it that's on my bathroom mirror, and it says, "I was made for this!" exclamation point, because that's something I live with, and I remind myself all the time, I was made for this. I'm not supposed to be doing anything else. I can't not do this. I can't not show up bigger and bolder and brighter because this is what I was made for. Right? And anything that you're doing in this time, it doesn't mean you're going to be doing it forever. I'm not going to be doing this like this forever. Who knows what it's going to evolve into? We don't know. But we can't worry about that. All we have to worry about is right now. What do you feel like you've been called to do right now? Do it and do it the best you can. Can you live out that best version of yourself, the highest version of yourself, and just challenge yourself to do it? Go on cleanses. And that could be cleanses of lots of things. Anything that's not serving you. Anything that's not in the highest and best conditions for the divine idea that is you, right? So if we're all brought here, and this is why I love this idea of the divine idea and the divine seed, because I used to live a life that looked nothing like this, and I never knew that any of this was possible for me. I could actually be in prison right now, federal prison, because some of my friends went, and they're just getting out. It's like, I would have never known that this was possible if that was my path, and that happened. It didn't happen, but I was capable of both things. So what is in your seed if you created the optimal conditions? If you became obsessive with getting over your fears and doubts? What if you became obsessive with uncovering your potential? You became obsessive with becoming more visible, more vulnerable, more true. What would happen? These are the kind of experiments we can play with our life. And I have a 6-month group that I would invite you to come and play that experiment with me. So now that you have your strengths, now that you know what you're working with, what we want to do is just ground and anchor in that truth, right? So you think about yourself. You are like a balloon. Let's think of yourself just as this analogy of this balloon. And we see those balloons that go flying off in the air lost, right? But you know the balloons that have those little anchors on them? Let your anchor be there so that you don't get caught with all the things that are happening in the world. Every time someone comes up and says something, every time you go out to make a sale and you get rejected, anytime you're with someone that you care about and they don't believe in you or something comes up, can you anchor in this truth, all of your strengths, and that you are safe, right? So that's just something that you can always work through. But now we're going to go into the meditation, which I feel is more powerful. But you want to do all of it, right? Because when we write it out and we get it, it's like a to-do list. You guys know how you feel. Do you ever get overwhelmed when you have a to-do list and you feel like there's so much stuff you have to do? It's like, I got to go to Target. I got to order contacts. I got to do all this stuff, and you just forget. But when you write it out, it's like you create space in your mind. So when we're walking around with fear and we're feeling like this, the best thing we can do is just like sit down. I know when I was feeling overwhelmed and I felt like my business was changing, I was like, life is changing. I don't know what the hell is happening. My daughter and I were out, and I was like, look, when I get home, I need to write. Like, I just need space because I need to write. Because I was like, I can't carry this around, right? Like, I have to purge it. So I ask you to do this for yourself. Whenever you're feeling heavy and you can't take action, you feel the fear, sit down, purge it, write it, identify it. The same thing with emotions, things like depression or fear. When we watch them, they lose their power, right? So we don't want to pretend that it's not there. Oh, I'm just going to pretend that I don't feel down today. I'm just going to pretend that I'm not upset. I'm not going to pretend this. Sit with it, look at it, love it. I challenge you, pour love into it. Can you learn to look at it and say, oh, that's a part of me that still feels scared. That's a part of me that still feels not safe. Something will happen when you do that. So let's all turn within. And let's just think about this, right? We're on this call with, I don't even know how many women are on here. Let's see. Oh, we have another, there's another little group of people over on the other side of my screen. So we have all of these women here. We're from all over the planet. How awesome is that, right? We're all coming here because there's a part of us, that same thing in me that said, create the class, asked you to come onto the class. Isn't that beautiful? So we have this thing that's working through us. It's animating us. It's loving us. It's guiding us. And what if we just keep surrendering to that? We stop idolizing things that don't belong. We stop clinging to things that we don't need, and we just totally surrender to this force and become devoted. That's when so many beautiful things happen. You're not going to lose yourself. You're going to find a whole new you, right? So let's just turn within. Sit where you are. Get comfortable. Hands up. Our hands are open. Our hearts are open. Our mind is open. We just want to begin to tune in. So let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths with those audible exhales like we did earlier together, starting now. Deep breath in. Letting go of everything that happened before this moment. Deep breath in. Releasing any fear, doubt, worries. One more deep breath. Let's just fall so deeply into this present moment now. Falling down beneath our head space, falling down beneath our worries, falling into our heart, falling into our body, which is supported by our true mother, this planet, the mother beyond that, which is the divine that's created this planet. We are living, breathing, eating, drinking off of this planet. We're all here together in that space. Let's just drop into gratitude for that for a moment, knowing that we're all here, we're all alive, and that life is good. It is good. It's good because we're here. And we sit here floating in incalculable possibilities. There are so many things that are possible for you right now. We let go of thinking of any possibilities. We tend to think of 3 or 4 possibilities and we just hone in on them. And a lot of the times they're not even positive. So we just release all of that right now. We relinquish control. We just become still. And I want you to begin to feel that you are just safe. You are incredibly safe. You are so supported that nothing bad can happen to you right now. There is, in fact, no bad or good. And I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to invite in an ancestor or an angel, someone to come forth. And I want you to see them sitting in front of you and placing their hands right on top of yours. And I want you to feel their presence with you right now. You're calling them forth to support you, to ask for help. And our angels, ancestors, our guides are just waiting for us to ask for help. We forget that they're here for us. We forget that we're not alone. So just feel them right now. And I want you to tell them what you're afraid of. And I want you to release it to them, knowing that they've got your back in this. Just let it go. Tell them. Remember to breathe. We're releasing this because it does not serve where you're going. It does not serve what you're doing. And they are here to support you. So we release it. Any emotion that comes up, don't fight it back. Just let it flow. And as you release this, just see that they are pleased that you asked for help. And they are willing to take this on for you. For they know your truth. They know what you're capable of. They know that you have nothing to fear. And now I want you just to feel more support, more love. Just feel these guides, whatever it is for you. Just feel that there's support all around you, holding you, keeping you safe. Consider a time where you felt guided before. Consider a time where something has just come through and you were like, oh, that's it. I know I had nothing to worry about all along. I was good. I want you to feel that. I want you to think of someone that is someone, it could be alive right now, someone that's alive right now. It could be that same person you called in. And I want you just to consider what it's like to be unconditionally loved, to be seen for who you are, to be seen as just pure innocence, pure light, pure love. And I want you to feel this person embrace you and to just tell you, they're whispering in your ear, you are okay, you are safe, you are loved. And I want you to feel their hug just grow stronger. Maybe you even want to just hug yourself right now. And just feel it. You are so loved. You are so supported. You are divinity. You have nothing to worry about. Just feel it. Notice what happens in your body the more that you feel safe, the more that you feel secure. Just feel it. See how deeply you can allow yourself to feel this safety and security. Now I want you to imagine, see yourself as a baby and see yourself laying in a crib or on a blanket, whatever comes to mind for you. And I want you to imagine that everyone that you've ever loved, that anyone that can come to mind right now, that they're just crowding over you, smiling, looking down on you from above the crib. And they're just telling you just how much they love you. You can feel their blessings pouring onto you of how they just are wishing that you have nothing but a beautiful life. Maybe you can feel your parents or your grandparents or your godmother, your godfather, and you can just see and feel in this moment the wishes that they had for you, the hopes that they had for you, perhaps the hopes and dreams that they've never had for themselves. They are bestowing them onto you right now. Just feel it. Can you receive it? Can you feel how your body just feels so alive and expansive? Maybe it feels tingly. What does it feel right now? Just feel all of it. Your frequency is shifting. Just keep feeling any blessings. How about you just feel everyone that's prayed for you? Everyone that just wished you good luck, told you they loved you, and maybe you just brushed it off. Maybe you just felt it just like everyone just says it. No, they meant it. I want you to receive it. Just take a deep breath here. Just take in this energy and carry it with you. Now I want you to know that this love is always here for you. This love is always here for you. It's here waiting for you to just let go of your fears and doubts, to let go of your smallness, to stand in your greatness, to stand and create the conditions for that divine seed that we spoke of. And I want you to just feel the energy and presence of every woman and even the men that are on this call with us, reaching around the globe. There's people from all over the planet that are on here with us. Can you feel them in your presence right now? Feel them. Now, I want you to just send that love and blessing that you felt. Can you now mirror it and express it back to everyone in this group? Send it out to them. Do not hold back. Just give your full love. Send it out. Now place your hands on your heart for me, please. And let's all take one more deep breath. Just feel into that life force. The power and source that animates each and every one of us, that brings us to life, that allows our bodies to function the way that they do, that allows me to speak in this moment, that allows you to sign up for this course, allows you to send love to other people. Your love is your light. Do not withhold it. Today we move forward. We know that we're safe. We know that we're blessed. We know that we're capable. And we just say fully yes to everything that comes up for us. To everything that comes up for us, and that we know that is right, and that we trust in divine orchestration, knowing that we are designed to carry out that task. That we are designed to share the love that has healed our life, to heal others' lives too. And today we don't hold back. Today we fully give our wholehearted yes. And we know that we are fully supported on this path. We are fully supported, and we say out loud, I was made for this. I was made for this. You were made for it. Whatever it is for you. So just from this place that I just give so many thanks. I just send so many blessings to everyone that's on this call live, that it comes on later and that shares it later to their friends and loved ones, knowing that this blessing, that this practice of safety and remembering our truth is all we need in our times of darkness and our times of doubt. It's all we need. So we open our hearts to it, and we're just so grateful. And I let it be, and so it is. So just take a breath. Notice where your body is. Notice where your emotional state is. Notice what you're feeling, and then come back into the session. Don't let fear hold you back. We're all here to do something really amazing. So do not forget that. Share the love today. Acknowledge some people today. And just be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. All right, guys. Bye.